All right, so let's put this into practice. Let's try making our own brand new memory map. So I'm going to use a actually kind of difficult example, going back to originally what threw us off in our stream of consciousness, which is Einstein's theory of relativity, which is this E equals mc squared. Okay, so again, this is very complicated. It might be difficult, but this will be a good example of how you can find something that is really confusing to you and start learning more about it and use a memory map to help you. So the first thing I can do is I look at E equals mc squared. Well, I know that's some sort of equation, right, with a bunch of letters. So certainly there's some sort of math involved to understand this. Depending on my math abilities, I might understand, okay, MC, these are letters standing in for numbers. So I also need to understand not just math. Oops, now it's connecting to everything. But I need to understand what are called variables. It's like x equals 6, right? Uh, that's something I might be learning, which is, variables, if I learn a little more, are part of algebra. Okay, it's when you first get introduced to them. On top of that, I'm seeing this thing, mc squared. Well, I know that's an exponent. I don't remember what it means or how it works, but definitely need that. So all these things are going into the math that I need to understand. Oops. Okay, that got a little messed up, but we'll just go with it. To be able to learn what me equals mc squared is all the way about. Now, on top of that, maybe I heard it's called Einstein's theory of relativity, so I know it has something to do with Einstein. So to learn about Einstein, I know he's a mathematician, so that's connected, but I know he's some sort of history guy, right? And there's some sort of prize he got. That's why he's famous. So I might want to know a little bit of this guy's history and about this prize he got to start understanding what E equals mc squared is. Okay, so maybe that's all I know right now. There's obviously a lot more to E equals mc squared, but this is a starting place. So if that's all I know, I've never heard of it, and those are just kind of building off of the clues I have. Now there's some connections I have ready for me. Okay, now I know some math, I know exponents, I know algebra a little bit, so now I can start figuring out some of this and start understanding it. And then if I connect it to this thought of Einstein and history, now I can build off my connections and use as a way to start figuring out what Einstein's theory of relativity is, right? That sounds really complicated. It sounds like something that, nobody in middle school should be able to figure out. But if you actually build this little map and start thinking about it and logically building off the connections you have, you actually now are on your way to start figuring out how you could possibly teach yourself about this on your own. Right? That's what a memory map does. It helps you figure out what are the connections you have, what are the connections you might need to build to better understand and learn something. Okay? So what you're going to do next is you're actually going to do the same thing, but I'm giving you some more easy concepts. You're going to have sort of a reading writing related one, and you're going to have a math related one. And what you're going to do is just try to build your own memory map from that. Make it as detailed as you can. Put as many pieces out here. The more and more you can put, and the things that connect to each skill. So if I know more about Einstein, then I can put more connections there. Math, I mean, there's a whole lot more I could put here about math, but I don't want to because you're going to be doing that in your own memory map. But really think through what are all the different pieces, because the more pieces and connections you have and you have drawn, the more likely it is that you're going to be able to figure out how to learn that thing and where you should start so that you can build off of the connections you have and then focus on building new connections.